Hi everybody. I figure I might as well make episode 3 of my Twice But Nice volunteer review, where I used to volunteer. I didn't like what I was seeing and I didn't like how I was treated, so I quit. I briefly spoke out about them and they threatened to sue me. They emailed a threat to me. I'll show you the threat letter, and they also mailed it to my home. Now, I'll make a 4th episode if I do decide to go to their annual general meeting. I express some interest because I would like to ask some questions. They did say they believe in transparency and everybody is welcome, so that includes me. Now, I shouldn't be giving this person the time of day, but somebody posted, I think it was the link to episode 1 or 2 in an anonymous group on Facebook that I follow. I recognize a guy from there who posts there because he commented on my video and then he blocked me so I couldn't respond. But I saw what he said in that group as well. I noticed he's kind of attention seeking in that group too, but so in the group, I think that was where he insulted my speech, my tone. He insulted my speech and then he insulted my hair, my appearance. And then he said that this is only just a bunch of opinions, blah, blah, blah. He's going to go get their side of the story. He's going to go head down there. And then he blocked me before I could respond. So I took a quick look at his profile on Facebook, and it looks like he has a daughter. And he's insulting women online. It says a lot about him. I think he's missing the point here. I'd love to know what they have to say. However, the point is that I'm allowed to share my opinion. I'm allowed to share my observations without being threatened, without somebody trying to intimidate me, without somebody sending a threatening, harassing letter to my email and mailing one to my home. This in itself is wrong. It's harassment and it's a misuse of my personal information. I gave them my email address and my home address for the purpose of volunteering, not so they could mail threats to try to intimidate me. So according to the Office of the Information and Privacy Commissioner of Alberta, I have to contact the organization first about this issue of misuse of my personal information. And then if I'm not happy with their response, or if they don't respond, then I can file a complaint and they can be investigated. So that is what I'm doing. I've already sent them an email. If I'm not pleased with the response, if I don't think it's sufficient, if it's vague, if they don't answer all my questions, then I can complain about the misuse of my personal information and they could potentially be investigated about it. A really nice viewer on my YouTube mentioned something along the lines of, what's the point of standing up to them? I mean, is there really any point? And I need to explain why it is very important. First of all, to respond to their legal threat, it cost me almost $500 to respond with a lawyer. Secondly, they threatened to sue me. And again, like I just said, they misuse my personal information. They're harassing me in attempts to intimidate and scare me. And when you're threatening to sue someone, you're potentially threatening financial ruin on them. I worked really hard to buy my house. I am a solo homeowner and it's very expensive to maintain it. So what, are they going to sue me and then I won't be able to maintain my home? Maybe I'll have to skip going to the dentist for a few years. You know, or should I sell my truck? Threatening to sue somebody is huge and it's really bizarre. And yes, they need to be aware of the fact that this is wrong and people need to stand up to bullies like this. Absolutely. It is very important to me to stand up to them. And after I clapped back at them, after I stood up to them, I was flipped off in the Walmart parking lot by the assistant manager and her partner. I think the public needs to know about this so that they can make more informed decisions about where they make their donations. They fired a volunteer who had issues with the management and the 2 hired paid daughters of the manager. They fired her shortly before I quit. And I found it really odd that this didn't raise any sort of suspicion with the board of directors. Hey, they just fired a volunteer. Next thing you know, another volunteer quits. Maybe we should ask her what happened. Maybe we should talk to her. Maybe we should phone her. Nobody contacted me. And I'm curious to know if they threatened that other volunteer too, or if they've threatened even more people. I see this nonprofit organization being abused. If you notice in this letter, they do not even quote what I said on that evening. It is a very harsh response to what I said. And it was just 2 paragraphs, literally. And less than 48 hours after I made those comments, I received this letter via email. And then shortly after, I received a copy mailed to my home. So let's go over this letter together. This letter is to inform you that due to harassment, slanderous language, and defamation brought forth by yourself against Twice But Nice on August 19th, 2025 on social media, the decision has been made by both management and the board of directors to warrant an official ban from the Twice But Nice store. So the president of the board here, she signed off on this letter, but it says that everybody agreed on it. So does that mean that everybody here agreed to ban me and they agreed to threaten me too. Like, none of these people said, hey, maybe we shouldn't be sending her threats. Maybe we should look up the legalities behind this. Maybe we shouldn't be mailing threats to her home. Do all of these people think that it's okay to threaten me? Really bizarre. This is quite funny here. The secretary, if you look under her name, I wonder who wrote all this, because it says, just finished donating to Twice But Nice. Or like back to the president here, it says donating a puzzle to Twice But Nice, and she's actually posing with the puzzle. Anyway, I digress. I have a hard time believing that all of these people agreed to threaten me. I discussed this with somebody I know today, and they think that it is quite possible that the assistant manager and the manager, or one of them, convinced the president that, hey, she's a pushover, because I do come across as one at work. We could just threaten her, and then she'll be quiet, it'll scare her, and all will be well. I want to give the president of the board the benefit of the doubt. And that person also suspects that all of these other people did not know about it. But I really can't give her the benefit of the doubt as much as I want to, because she signed that letter. She threatened me. That is bullying. Now, the next paragraph is quite interesting. They have a strict zero tolerance policy for the harassment of staff, volunteers, and customers. In this occurrence, your conduct was both unwarranted and inappropriate. Online defamation and harassment of multiple team members. This wording is really weird and it's really harsh. To protect our team and reputation, we inform you that Twice But Nice has banned you from entering our store located in Fort Saskatchewan. So they're saying that they need to protect their team from me? I went in there the day after I quit because I thought we were on good terms. They were bullshitting, but I thought we were on good terms and things were really awkward. But I did have a conversation with a staff member there, the really nice one who does the housewares. We talked about that she was feeling a bit cold, and then she said that she's going to go for a walk at the new pedestrian bridge. And I said, yeah, it's a beautiful day out, and the pedestrian bridge is a really nice place to walk. So you have to protect your staff, your team members from that. If you enter our store again or engage in slanderous language towards Twice But Nice in person or on social media or any online platform, please be advised, we have the right to pursue any legal remedies available against you, including criminal and or civil proceedings. Criminal. And who wrote this? There's a stupid disclaimer at the end. This notice does not preclude separate legal action Twice But Nice may take against you for any other offenses aside from entering the store. When I went into the store, and I thought we were on good terms, I saw the assistant manager. I went to say hi. She turned around and she walked away. I was shocked. Yeah, I guess I was of no use to them anymore, so why be polite? Now, normally I would treat something like this as a regular job and I would give 2 weeks notice, but I felt like I was being taken advantage of. In fact, I knew I was being taken advantage of. I was hunched over that low folding table in the corner, processing their donations, slinging the heavy bags. And so what? By not giving notice, did they have to stand the entirety of a few shifts? Did they not get to do their art projects or staging projects? They get to sit, and I would have to bring, when I would sling the bags of clothing donations and I would find linens, I would have to take it over to the assistant manager's area, and sometimes she would have her cart there and she'd be sitting at her desk, at her throne, and she'd be like, you can just put that in my cart right there, thanks. And I'd be like, oh, wow. Yeah, pleasure to be of service to you. And another time, it was after a shift. I was so tired. I sat down at a desk to try on a pair of boots. I wanted to buy a pair of boots. I wanted to try them on, and I was exhausted. And the 17-year-old daughter says, you're in my seat. And I apologize. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'll get up in a second. She stood there, and she waited. And another time, somebody donated a really nice office chair. And she didn't like her chair that she had. It wasn't good enough. So she was so happy that someone made that donation. And she switched out the chair for the nicer one. And let's talk about their discount. They give themselves first dibs and 50% off donations. I think that's excessive. And yes, I bought things. Sure, I did. But there is something that I am very enthusiastic about. I collect Lego. And I said if any Lego sets come in, I would love to see them. However, I would like to pay full price because I wasn't there to take advantage of the thrift store. Like Lego sets can be very expensive and I just didn't feel right. So I offered to pay full price, but the manager just didn't seem to want me to buy them because there were a couple sets in her office that she was holding on to for the turnaround. I said, I'll pay full price. And she said, oh, no, it's a perk that we have. And then after turnaround, I got to my shift early. And I said, oh, I just heard Lego. And then she had her back facing me and she cringed. I saw her. She didn't want me to buy them, not even for full price. And I think it's because she needs to look good. These are shiny things that she can put in the display case, and it makes the store look better. However, if they're giving themselves the rule, first dibs and 50% off donations, then it should apply to everybody. The assistant manager collects Harry Potter related stuff. Somebody brought in something Harry Potter related, some sort of collectible, and she was on holidays in Newfoundland. And the daughters and the manager, one of the daughters or both, I don't remember exactly, but they were there, and they texted her to tell her that something arrived and asked if she wanted it. And they're all giggling about it. I just felt like the 50% off and first dibs was a bit much. I think it was kind of abusive to the donations. I would assume maybe we would have access after it's been out on the floor for a day so that the customer could have first dibs, not when something comes in, first dibs, and then 50% off. Wow. I bought a sweater one time, and I was holding the sweater while the staff member, who not a family member, staff member was pricing it for me. She put a tag on, and then she priced it as a regular sweater. When I got home, I saw that there was a price tag on the inside of the sweater that I didn't see before. So I went back and I paid more for that sweater, because I'm not there to rip them off. I'm there to volunteer. I'm not going to take advantage of a thrift store, of a nonprofit.